Hello everybody, it's TannerFishies here, back again with a new Ninjago video here on the channel. In today's video, we are going to be discussing another Ninjago Season 16 theory that when you piece it all together and when you actually think about it, it actually does make a fair bit of sense, and I do believe something like this will go down in the upcoming Season 16 story for the next season of the Ninjago TV show. Now, obviously with Ninjago Season 16 right around the corner, or, you know, whatever you want to call the summer 2022 season, doesn't really matter to me, we still have very little concrete information about the upcoming story. And because of that, a lot of us Ninjago fans have just been left to simply speculate. What exactly will be going on in the next season? Well, thankfully, we do have some word as to what we can expect to happen. And in today's video, I want to go into discussing more about how the character of Zane may actually find himself in a fair bit of danger in the upcoming storyline. But before we get into what exactly I think Zane will be up to in the upcoming Season 16 story, I must give you guys a quick disclaimer. Everything I'm about to say in today's video is not 100% confirmed by any means necessary. We do have some leaked episode titles and some leaked set lists from fairly reliable sources, but as I said, this is not concrete 100% confirmed information, so just keep that in mind as you continue watching forward. So in terms of Zane being in danger in the upcoming Ninjago story, that doesn't really sound anything too out of the ordinary on paper. I mean, Zane, ever since he came back in his titanium form, has always been getting shot at, stabbed, thrown off of cliffs, blown up. The guy has not really had a good time in the Ninjago series. He's always been used as cannon fodder to an extent. Because the character is not human, he's technically a Nindroid, you can get away with having all kinds of messed up stuff happen to him because it's not happening to a human character. Therefore, you can have more dramatic scenes, build up tension, increase the violence a little bit. You can get away with that because, again, the character is a robot, not technically human. Because of everything we know regarding the Ninjago villains returning, or at least some Ninjago villains coming back for this upcoming season, I believe that Zane's role in this season is pretty much set in stone. Based on the Ninjago Summer 2022 set list that we got courtesy of Promo Bricks, older Ninjago villains are actually listed to be returning in these sets, including but not limited to Harumi, the Skull Sorcerer, Esphira, Pythor. Basically, a lot of bad guys are going to be coming back and possibly forming a team-up. We've seen villain team-ups before throughout the Ninjago story, most famously in Day of the Departed, and I think we're going to be seeing something similar this go-round, especially because all of these bad guys are going to be coming back, and they'll probably be operating under one roof, under one distinct leader. Because of this, the ninja themselves are probably going to be on top of it, and here's how I think the story's going to go down. So the ninja get word of the villains coming back and forming a team-up. They're sort of surprised at first, obviously, but they still get the information regardless. As to how they get this information, I don't know, maybe they kidnap Fugitive or something and, you know, intimidate him to make him talk. We've seen the ninja do that before, so they could probably get whatever they wanted out of him. After the ninja find out where the bad guys are going to be meeting up, they of course send in a bad guy of their own in the form of Zane as the Ice Emperor. The idea for this actually comes courtesy of a very old Ninjago leak that we got months ago that suggested that an upcoming Ninjago 2022 episode would be called The Return of the Ice Emperor. I remember discussing when those leaks came out that the Ice Emperor coming back might actually not be the return of the Ice Emperor himself. You know, not the return of the big bad evil version of Zane, more like this would be a return of the Ice Emperor in name only, meaning that Zane would probably be disguised as the Ice Emperor. The ninja are going to use him to infiltrate this new villain team-up. Most of the bad guys in Ninjago probably are not aware of the Ice Emperor incident because that happened in an entirely different realm, so to me it makes a fair bit of sense why they would send Zane in. The villains are probably looking for other bad guys to recruit, so Zane would be an excellent candidate on paper. So anyway, the ninja find out where this villain team-up is going to be taking place, and obviously send in Zane disguised as the Ice Emperor to be a spy of sorts for the bad guys. Of course, the bad guys think that Zane is working with them, but secretly we all know the real plan here. It seems to all be going well, going as planned, until a certain bad guy makes a reappearance, that of course being the Overlord. Now, for evidence of the Overlord coming back, we have to go to the 2022 set list, which actually does showcase a set known as the Crystal King, which when you break down the description even further, according to sources such as Promo Bricks, the Crystal King himself has armor similar to that of the Overlord. Whether or not the Overlord is the Crystal King, though, remains to be seen. This very well could be a case of the Crystal King working for the Overlord, or the Overlord simply returning in a new body, like we've seen him do time and time again before. Either way, I definitely think that the Overlord is involved here in some way, shape, or form. So the Overlord shows up as the big leader behind this entire villain team-up, the Vengestone buyer, if you will. Whatever their plan with Vengestone will end up being, Zane, of course, will hear it all, but Zane will probably get a little bit spooked upon seeing the Overlord return, because obviously the two of them have some history, especially dating back to Season 3, when Zane actually defeated the Overlord at the cost of his own body. And if Zane is going to be spooked by the Overlord's sudden reappearance, I do believe that the Overlord himself will recognize or sniff out Zane in some way. I think the Overlord sensing Zane's presence would be an excellent way to bridge those two characters back together again. Ever since that fateful encounter during Ninjago Season 3's finale, obviously the two have not really had the chance to meet again. Especially with their established history, both the Overlord and Zane would be pretty on edge being around one another once again. It's likely that Zane will eventually be found out by the Overlord and a chase might ensue, or the Overlord might actually try to get his revenge there for a brief period of time. Not exactly sure what's going to be going down if Zane does get found out, but I think it's likely that he will get captured or possibly injured in some way. I don't think Zane is going to die though. I don't think the Ninjago series would go as far as to kill Zane, but I doubt that the ninja's plan would work here. I doubt that Zane would get any intel from this villain meetup because he would be sniffed out almost immediately. We've seen Zane go undercover before, and for that the ninja might be feeling fairly confident, but then again, this is the Overlord we're talking about here. I imagine it would be pretty easy for the Overlord to sniff out a spy. Anyway, I don't think the Ninjago series would go as far as to kill Zane as I said, but this is essentially a suicide mission from Zane in my humble opinion. Zane breaking into a villain meetup disguised as the Ice Emperor is a pretty good idea, I must admit, and I do think the story has the potential to be relatively interesting, but I ultimately don't know what to expect from this story, or at least the outcome from the encounter with the Overlord, if that is what's going to be going down here. Will the villains capture Zane? Will they actually torture him for information as well? I don't think they'd go as far as to kill Zane, obviously, but what if they did? Let's think about that for a second. If Zane were to die right here, it would definitely be tragic, and if this is truly going to be the final Ninjago story with this current group of ninja, maybe Zane's death isn't completely out of the question, but I do think it's one of the least likely things to happen in this scenario. If anything, Zane's either going to be injured, tortured, or he's just going to get away perfectly fine. And maybe this is the first time that the ninja even see the Overlord back again. Maybe this is the big reveal to both the ninja and the audience. That would certainly cause some tension between the ninja team itself, and especially Zane, because he's right there front and center. I also like thinking about how the Overlord would react in this situation. Would he recognize Zane immediately under the Ice Emperor disguise, or would it take him a while to eventually sniff him out? Like I said though, whether or not the Overlord will come back is obviously up in the air, along with the whole return of the Ice Emperor thing. I just think if they're going to be bringing back the Ice Emperor in some way, it's not going to be a full-on return of the evil, genocidal maniac known as the Ice Emperor. It's going to be Zane taking up that disguise to probably infiltrate a villain team-up. I don't know, I'm just really looking forward to seeing what Season 16 has in store for our favorite ninja, and especially in the case of Zane right here. So thank you so much for watching today's video, you guys. That'll pretty much wrap it up from my thoughts here today. Leave a comment down below discussing what exactly you think of this idea, and what do you think the interaction between Zane and the Overlord would be, seeing them come face to face again for the first time in years. How do you think that will go down, and what do you think about the Ice Emperor coming back? Do you think it's actually going to be the return of the Ice Emperor himself, or simply Zane just donning a disguise? Leave all your thoughts down below in the comments, you guys, and hopefully you enjoyed today's video. That'll pretty much wrap it up from my thoughts here today. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you enjoyed today's video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and as always, check out the links down below in the description from other forms of social media. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Once again, you guys, my name is TannerFishies, and with that, I bid you farewell.